Here we go. Good evening. Welcome to the November 18th, 2019 Zoning Subcommittee meeting of the Revere City Council. Madam Clerk.
Roll call of the members of the Zoning Subcommittee. Councillor Janino is absent. Councillor Keefe?
Here.
Here. Councillor Novoselsky? Here. Here. Councillor Rizzo is absent. Ex officio Guanasso?
Here.
Here. And Chairman Zambuto?
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. First item on the agenda is Council Order 19-238. This is a request of the Vincerellis of 15 North Mountain Ave, Melrose, Mass., requesting an amendment to the zoning map of the City of Revere. This is Lot 63 on Hawes Street, requesting residential B district to the general business district.
Attorney Simeone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Zoning Board of Zoning Subcommittee of the City of Revere. This evening I represent Enrico Vincerelli and Anthony Vincerelli, seeking a zoning map change in accordance with 1712-10 through 30, specifically asking that you change the district designation for Lot 63, Hawes Street, which is 2,025 square feet of land. It's vacant, and it's currently in the RB district. It's identified as a assessors parcel 18,29312. Currently, the existing associated two parcels that go with this parcel on 331 Revere Street, parcels 10 and 11, are a apartment house, which currently is owned by the Vincerelli family. At this point, they would like to use the land that's currently RB for parking and to modify the existing apartment house. I would ask you to have this parcel also to be uniformly zoned. Am I okay? Oh, so ultimately this piece of property will be uniformly zoned, all being general business, and allow for the modifications. The uniformity of the zoning will help in the ability to modify the structure, improve it, and I think invest in the city locally. Any questions the board may have, commission may have?
Thank you, Councillor. I want to recognize Councillor Janino, who's a committee member who has joined us. Thank you. And, of course, Councillor Patch, the Ward 6 councillor, who we're going to miss dearly. And the Ward 1 councillor, McKenna. Sorry about that. The rain's got to me tonight. Okay, so this is pretty clear and
Mr.
cut,
Chairman?
but we'll start with Council President Guanasso.
Mr. Chairman, also a Ward 3 issue. It's in my ward, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate the leverage. This looks like it's favorable to the community. I have not received one complaint in it from area residents. Mr. Vincerelli has been a good long-term landowner in our community. He has a family enriched within our city, and I have nothing but the future will be good for Mr. Vincerelli at that location. I think he'll do well, and I'm in favor of this proposal.
Thank you, Council President Guanasso. Any other committee members? Councilor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I visited the site, and it looks like it's a good thing for them to do, and it's already adjacent to a general business zone, so we're not doing a spot zoning, and it's a local family that just wants to make their property better. So I'll be in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Novoselsky. Councilor Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, was able to visit the site. This cleans up some of the zoning in the area, but again, it's an existing property that is going to tighten up what they have in the zoning area and continue to contribute to our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Keefe. Anyone else? Okay, I had a small concern from a constituent that they wanted to make sure this was for parking, and there wasn't going to be something built on there, and I assured them that this is what we would consider an accessory use to the apartment building, and so
We anticipate, Mr. Chairman, to use it principally for parking. Just so that all the members of the council here are aware, the modification to this non-conforming structure will require a special permit. So once this zoning issue is cleaned up, we'll be back in front of you to actually talk about what's going to be constructed there. So the council will have full weight of its authority and examination of that.
Okay. Anyone else? And I guess there are some recommendations from the planning board? They've offered a favorable recommendation. Okay, so I guess we will have a roll call on this.
Roll call on the zoning change on Lot 63 Hawes Street from RB to GB. Councillor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Keith?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Rizzo is absent. Councillor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. And Chairman Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes, the zoning map amendment will receive a favorable recommendation in front of the full city council. Next item on the agenda is 338 Squire Road, going from RB to GB, the lot in the back on Sigourney Street.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the zoning subcommittee. My name is Attorney Larry Simeone, and I represent the applicant, which is 338 Squire Road, LLC. It's a Massachusetts LLC with the principal place of business at 338 Squire Road, Revere. This particular applicant seeks a zoning map change in accordance with 1712, 10 through 30. Particularly, the locus involved is Assessors Map 28438M-23A. It consists of 3 lots identified on the deed as 830, 831, and 832. They consist of 6,561 square feet. They're vacant, and they're currently in the RB district. The applicant also owns a self-service gas station at 338 Squire Road. It is at Assessors Lot 28438M13A and consists of 28,775 square feet. Essentially, this particular property has done very well through the management of its clients and the design of the building, and having received the votes from this body to developing that site. And we're at a point now where we could use additional off-street parking. So we're asking you to take this 6,661 square feet, allow us to make parking. Principally, the parking will be for employees and staff and vendors. We currently have a design in mind, and probably at some point, if we do any construction there, we'll need to go to the site plan review committee. But currently, it's our hope, we've designed, we'll be putting a proposed interior cut between Joe's Market into the site by removing, as I've indicated to many members who are there, by removing about 12 to 14 square feet of fencing and shrubbery, allowing again people to come into the market, those employees, vendors, and so forth, and park into this space rather than utilizing the space that's out front. Also, we'll continue to use the Sigourney Street exit as well. We currently have shrubbery about 10 to 15 feet in height along borderline of the property and bordering both residential abutters of this particular site, along with I believe it's like a 14-high-foot fence as well, or at least somewhere short of that. So it's properly already buffered as far as you could go. And again, should there be some lighting, we propose some lighting as well. That lighting would have to meet the criteria on the site plan review. If we put any type of lighting there to make that area illuminated during the evening for, let's say, employees or staff, that lighting has to sheen only on the parking lot and not into any abutters' yards. I'll answer any questions the committee would have. I did, one clerical note is I submitted a letter to the chairman, to each and every one of you on the committee. There appears to be, there was, at least in my mind, some concern as to the name, the identification of the lots, and I've addressed that there. And I, again, would be looking for a vote for Assessors Lot 28438M238, which, if you look at Exhibit 1 under your application, will be lots 830, 831, and 832. I stand ready to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman, you'd like to have.
Councillor Patch, the ward councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to say that I'm in favor of this. The owner, Mr. Prizio, kept his promise back when he first took over the business there. He kept the help, and some of them are still working today. And that's very unusual. We see people make a lot of promises here and they don't produce. Also, it's kind of like it's very crowded with the parking in the Augusta Street, and this could relieve some of the parking problem there. Also, you know, it's just a great place to go for a cup of coffee or whatever you need, gas. And I hope you all agree with me, and we pass this tonight. Thank you.
Any other councillors on the committee? Councillor Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I visited this site with the owner and his attorney, and it is a large lot, you know, with those three sites. You know, could be a new house, but, you know, it's just as well that he needs it for parking. But I just want to make sure that, you know, I don't live there, but I wouldn't want to live there if it was used for rental of parking big trucks. I have a very big concern about that. I know they want to use it for their employees and vendors, and I just have a question on what kind of vendors would be parking there and how long. I just don't want it used for
You're talking about like
truck rental storage.
I would say a vendor that has to, you know, any type of product.
And in and out.
In and out, yeah.
person.
We have no intention of doing a rent space for other commercial enterprises.
And is it going to be paved and curbed?
Not initially because of the cost. We're going to use it just as it's used now, just for the employees, but eventually it will be paved, curbed, and, you know.
And that's when the lights would go in, when they do that.
There's a light right now that I think exists already there, but I think we would definitely have to put lighting probably at the corners that would sheen in on the site. The more we use that site for like employees who might have to walk there at night, that will, you know, at that point, we'll need to make all those improvements, which we're willing to make.
That would have to be sooner than later.
I'm sure Mr. Prizio would like to do it sooner or later.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Council President Guanasso.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also visited the site with the attorney, and to me, it relieves some of the burden of parking in front of the establishment. To his credit, he has a terrific business ongoing there, and I know several people who go in there and enjoy themselves, and they not only get gas, but they go in and socialize, and they sit there and have a cup of coffee and whatever else they do. I don't know what this means by scratching or something, but they do and sit there, and they have a lot of fun. It's a little social gathering, and the proprietors keep that place spotless, and everything there is what you would want within a community. It's a first-class business, and he runs it like that, and that's why he's so appreciated by his customers and his employees, because it is a first-class run operation. And I think that his venture into the back to allow for parking and for his workers, and also for vehicles coming in, trucks coming in to deliver product, is a great use for that particular project. I didn't realize it was that big, 6,561 square feet. That's a big piece of property. So good luck. I'll be voting favorably for it, and I think it's a good thing for not only the area, but for the business.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councillor Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also will be supporting this evening. This is a great example of where the business owner worked with the council and with the neighbors, and we all got everything squared away and got where we needed to be. I know in the beginning there was some miscommunication and misinformation about the project, but at the end of the day, I think it's a good project for the business and for the community. It's not going to have any more of an impact on the neighborhood, and as a direct abutter, I appreciate that. And they're good neighbors. They do the right thing in the neighborhood, and did a great job in working with the people in the neighborhood and communicating, and makes our job on the council easier when that happens. So thank you, and again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Councillor Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too went to the site, and I was appreciative of what the business person wants to do. Too often we find any vacant lot or any space to be put, there's usually a proposal for housing, which we can talk about in the city council. There's far too many lately, and it's nice that this business person just wants to take care of the business he currently has and service the guests he currently has without taking the road of probably making the most money and putting a 2 or 3 family on that property. So I'll be in support of this project tonight. I know that there's a little bit of a minor encroachment on the neighborhood, but I would just ask that on the edges of the property, if there could be good landscaping to buffer that, and having obviously the lighting that would come facing inward would be important. But I would imagine this business person is going to do that because the way he currently runs his business is top notch. So I'll be in support of that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keefe. So obviously, I'm certainly supporting this, and my main reason is because I want to help businesses that are good businesses. This gentleman has proven to us that he cares about where his place of business is. He doesn't just go there to make money. He cares about the neighbors. He cares about his employees, as my colleague said, that they kept on the original employees when he took over the business, and just a first-rate business. And we obviously want to help good businesses that come into the city. I did have one minor complaint, and I'm afraid I deleted the text or the email was from the butter that was concerned about traffic, and I can assure them here on TV tonight, if I don't find your email, to respond to you that this is not going to create any extra traffic, and this is actually going to help with some of the parking on the side streets and so forth. So it's going to be a win-win for the neighborhood, for the business, and of course for the city, because when businesses do good, it brings in good businesses to want to come here. So I think we're ready for a roll call vote on this. Madam Clerk.
On the zoning map amendment request for Sigourney Street, lots 830, 831, 832, going from RB to the GB district, Councillor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Rizzo is absent. Councillor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes, and Chairman Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes, the zoning map amendment has received a favorable recommendation and will be reported out to the full city council.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the zoning subcommittee meeting for November 18, 2019. Thank you all.